even if 3 separate strangers hadn't told us that our new home, our first house, was haunted, by the end of the first 2 weeks of living there, even Aberlin and I were admitting that the house had an intense energy. I mean, we loved the house. We loved the 100-year-old wood floors, and we loved the high ceilings. But if after 3 years of marriage, her, the temperate rationalist, and me, the paranoid spiritualist, both were weirded out by something as ephemeral as energy, it was serious. It felt like the house, wasn't ours. It was, holding on to, the memory and the secrets of the people that lived there before us. So I was actually really relieved when I heard Aberlin coming in through the front door after she'd been gone on a run. And I got up from unpacking, and I came to greet her, and she kind of stopped me. And she was like, "Did you open the window in the attic?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "That's weird, because I was walking up just now, and it's open a little bit." And I was like, "Oh." And the paranoid spiritualist is like, but Aberlin is high on running endorphins, right? And she is not thinking about the randos who told us our house is haunted. And she's already got a flashlight, and she's like, "We got to get up there and close that thing before it rains." And before I've really thought it through, I am following her up the ladder into the creepiest part of the house, right? The area in the attic, only a little bit of it has a floor, right around the ladder, and the previous owners, tried to make it a playroom for their kids, because who doesn't, want to put their kids in the attic? And there's only, I have to, the window we need to close is on the opposite side of the attic. I have to squeeze through this gap in the wall they've put, and I've got the flashlight, and there's all this hanging black plastic, blocking from getting there. So I have to half crawl, half crouch, through the claustrophobic dark, around the edge of the attic to get to the window. And I am hating this. And I get there, and I close the window, and I am starting to make my way back, and I'm freaking out a little bit, but I'm also starting to feel a little bit better because nothing super weird has happened, and this is over, and we can get out of the attic, right? And I get back to the gap, and I hand Aberlin the flashlight, and I'm climbing through, and we are I see the ladder. We are free and clear, and we are almost there when we hear the unmistakable sound of a hinge turning. There are no doors in the attic. And we turn, and a wall has opened. It is not a wall. It is a door. And Aberlin shines the flashlight through this open doorway, and there is a tunnel of black plastic leading to the other side of the attic, and it takes a turn into the dark, and you can't see around it. And I am frozen. I cannot move. I am not thinking. And while I am frozen and not thinking, I realize Aberlin is walking into the tunnel. And every stupid guy who's in love with the hot girl in a horror movie, I just start following her without thinking about what's happening. And we get to the end of the tunnel, and we turn, and we are standing in this room, all made of black plastic. And the first thing her flashlight falls on is this low table made of plywood and 2x4s, and right next to it is an identical table. And all around it on the floor are zip ties and cords, and there's a pile of lamps in the corner. And we look at each other, and we both just finished the first season of Dexter, and we are thinking one thing. And we just without saying anything, we just out of there, backwards, down the ladder, shut it up. And we have this panicked brainstorming session. We are what do we do? And I'm we call the cops. And she's well, tell them what? We found a room in our attic. There's no blood, there's no crime. And I'm okay, fine. And she's we Google it. And I'm Google what? Secret, scary attic room, zip ties, cords? I'm gonna get on an FBI list. She's okay. And then and I remember that my sister and my brother-in-law are coming to see us the next day. And I'm okay. We just table this for the night. We ask them about it, what they think tomorrow morning, and we go from there. And she's I don't have a better idea. That's what we're doing. It was a really long night. I just laid there listening to the house creaking, staring at the ceiling, and trying to imagine some pleasant, harmless hobby that you would need a scary murder room for. And the next day, my brother-in-law gets there, and he's one of these, walking human encyclopedia people who, you bring up houseboats, and suddenly he knows about houseboats. So, I'm dude, I gotta show you something. And he's okay. And I, take him upstairs, through the secret door and the dark tunnel, and he's dude, And I'm like, I know. And he starts rooting around, like, doing his Sherlock thing. And I'm just like standing there like, oh my God, like people have been murdered in my house. And he stands up with like a handful of aquarium rocks. And I'm just like, what? And he sees like the grim look on my face. And he just starts laughing at me. And I'm like, what? And he's like, dude, do you know what this is? I'm like, no. And he's like, it's a grow room. And I'm like, homeschooled. I'm like, what's a grow room? And he's like, these are like, get it, man? Like, these are aquarium rocks, like with hydroponics. They use them for soil to grow plants, And they, like, the room's all blacked out because they had UV bulbs and like they had to block it so no one could see the light. Like, dude, they were growing pot in here. And I was like, oh my sweet Jesus, it was just drugs. They were just using the house for drugs. There's no murder. Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. And we go downstairs and I tell Aber's sister and everyone's laughing and we are just like relieved. And like the next day, Aber and I went up there and we ripped it all out. We were like, no, this is our house now. We burned sage, we prayed. And like 7 years later, we still live there. Like, and sometimes, we talk about like moving somewhere else or like finding a new house. And like every time we do, like my stomach gets like really tight and I'm like, I just don't think I can go through all that again. Thank you.